Well, I have a microphone, and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say!
Welcome to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast, brought to you by Revival Recordings.
Okay. Hi guys. Welcome back to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast, episode 13. I am not used to saying this because Courtney is not with us. But we're here.
Courtney's out with us today, but she will be with us another day. She's just off.
As soon as we hit record, everything went wrong, so we clearly need Courtney here. We miss you, but
she'll be back soon.
Yeah. Kind of hard to coordinate. Oh my god, this light. We haven't done this in a while, and it's showing.
We did a lot of pre-recording because all of us are having crazy summer schedules. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
as one does.
I think the last time at least the three of us sat down, because that was before the Bar Down Breakdown episode too.
That's right.
I think the last time I was on was when we had Kevin. So that was...
Oh, wow. That was a long time.
Yeah, that was at least 2 months ago.
May, I believe.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff to catch up on, guys. A lot of stuff to catch up on.
So we were going to do like a Q&A episode, but we also have a lot to catch up on in general. So this is going to be a mess. So buckle in for that.
Buckle up, baby.
Where
do we start?
I don't know. I don't know.
Let's start with the obvious, which is you went on tour with Alessandra in June.
You did.
I did.
How did it go? Tell us all the
really
juicy
good
details.
Really, it was, what was it, 13 shows, I think?
Mm-hmm.
12 or 13 shows, one of which was, you can't see my face with this glare. 13 shows, one of which was South by So What. Which
how was that?
Was insane.
Oh,
I bet.
In both good and like nothing went wrong at the festival. The festival was great. It was just
awesome.
Texas heat. I really, I was talking to someone about this today. I really think that the heat in Texas affected my cognitive function a little bit because I am not all here. I got pretty sick in Austin from heat exhaustion. It was like that last year too. It was like ungodly hot and it was beating down right on the stage and it was like, oh my gosh. Luckily, the stage that Alessandra played on was inside, so the merch table was inside.
Nice.
But it was still pretty freaking hot. It was rough.
It's probably like steamy too, right? Like it was like a humid, steamy, gross like inside.
It was pretty gnarly. But I hung out with some people that that I was already friends with, got to see people that I don't usually get to see, got to meet people I never thought I would meet, which, it's always weird working for a band that I grew up listening to. But the set that night was like crazy. There was tons of people there screaming every word. They played all the hits. They took a break from playing the album in full. So
I was about to ask, which album were they playing?
So they played A Place Where the Sun is Silent on the regular show nights.
Okay.
And then they did like a greatest hits for the
oh my gosh. I would have lost my mind.
They played the Hot Topic stage, which was just so fitting.
Of
very
course.
fitting.
And I sold almost all my merch. So it was good. It was great.
Good.
Wow.
And now we're gonna go do it all again in like less than 3 weeks by the time this comes out.
Yep. Oh no.
2? I can't. They didn't hire me to do math.
It's August in 2 weeks.
August 10th. I think you start
2 weeks.
But this podcast will be out on July 31st.
I'm thinking in terms of like everything that I have this summer is in terms of when Courtney and I are seeing Fall Out Boy in Fenway. So I'm like, everything revolves around August 2nd.
Yeah, that's I was coordinating with a guest that's going to be coming up. I don't know when that episode will come out, but we're going to be recording it in a few weeks, and we were commiserating over the fact that neither of us know what month it is or what day it is, or like
Was it your birthday next month too?
No, it's November.
Oh,
November 13th.
I was way off. I'm so sorry. I was like, no, she's definitely working on her birthday, and I was like, oh, that must be next month then. But no,
because we get home and then we do it again for a third time, and it'll be great. But long story short, tour was great. I'm happy to be home. I'm happy to have some alone time, some cat time, some
Luann
time in my own bed.
How's Luann?
She's good.
Hanging out.
No thoughts.
I'm sure it's fun to be on tour, but probably being stuck in a van with 5-6 full-grown men.
Seven grown men.
Seven. That's right.
I smell just as bad as the rest of them by the end of it.
Oh, gosh.
But
were you guys in a van, or were you in like a carrier? Like what was
like a van?
What was the? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Alexander. At least, I mean, I don't know if that'll. As long as I've worked for them, they've always toured in a van, so I'm kind of used to it. It is nice to sleep in a bed, though.
I remember being at rock band camp when I was like 12 or 13, and they were like, one day you're gonna have to share a van with people and you're gonna get so angry at each other and it's gonna be awful. And I was like, actually, that sounds really fun. So
it does. There are certain situations where it feels like trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding, oh god.
They have all done it way longer and in way harsher conditions than I've ever done it, so I can't really say much. But the heat was pretty brutal.
Yeah, that's awful.
They got me a fan so I don't get sick again. So
nice.
I really feel like part of the team now.
Well, thankfully it'll be like towards the middle end of August, so like it might let up a little bit, but I don't know where are you going to be? Like what coast?
East.
It's all East Coast, so it's we start here in North Carolina, and then we go up to like there's a Richmond date in there actually. I've never been to Richmond with them before. But basically
you go down and then back up.
Yeah, the routing's a little bit weird, but the furthest north we're going is somewhere in New York. And then
Horseheads, right?
Horsehead.
Oh,
yeah.
On the beach?
Is that a beach?
To me, that's a beach, but I
didn't
thinking of
see any beaches when we were there.
Hold on. Now I gotta look.
Yeah, it's this venue that it looks like it either is also a church or was a church at one point, and they have like a really awesome stage. The L.
It's called the L, yeah.
I could be totally talking out of my ass. It might not be a church at all.
This is not where I thought it was at all. This is in like the middle of
Yeah, it is. There's not a lot around there, at least especially around the venue.
This is so far away from the beach. Like, you could not get any further in New York from the beach. That is so funny. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Nah, it's like actual New York. Like, people think I'm from upstate New York, and this is further upstate than that. And even that is not really upstate New York. Like,
right.
Upstate
New York. It's in the middle, which is upstate New York. These are my opinion. But I'm also biased because, Massachusetts, so.
But yeah, I got a lot of the longer I do this, the more it's not like I have more friends on this coast than I do any other coast, but I at least I'm going to scrap that sentence entirely. Never mind. I'm going to cut that out entirely.
You got friends in different area codes. We got it.
You're popular. We get it. Gosh.
We get it, Amanda.
There's like hometown there's like a hometown element to it because, like the Brooklyn show would be like where my mom comes and probably my brother. But that was cool. I don't want to keep going on about tour, but we did hang out with my dad for a day, and that was really cool.
Nice.
Oh, that's fun.
He's met the guys before, but we like hung out at his house this time.
How did that
And he
go?
lives right on the beach. It was good. He talked to all of them. He not that he thought that they were like sketchy people, but he like really likes them, like actively likes them now.
Oh, love that.
Did he say anything embarrassing?
Not while I was around.
When my daughter was 13, she was listening to your album loudly in my...
Because we hung out at his house during the day, and then we went to the venue that was like 20 minutes away, and he wasn't planning on coming to the show, but he ended up going to get drinks with my stepmom at the bar next door. And I convinced him to go to the show because I went over there, and he was talking about how like, oh, they're all super like family oriented dudes. They're like very reserved and kind of quiet, very polite, very respectful. I can't imagine what they're like on stage. I'm like, well, if you want to come see, it's pretty cool. It's really cool how they kind of all collectively, like, they all do their own thing on stage, but weave around each other so well that it is, even if you don't like the music, it's just kind of fascinating to see.
Right.
So that's how I got him to come to the show. And then he came to the show and he was all excited and he got a poster that was like the photo that I took and they all signed it and I gave him a pass.
Oh, nice.
And
love that.
then he went out with us afterward and like, I think him and Jake are like actually friends now. They were like, I don't know what they were talking about, but they were in deep conversation for a second. I'm just like, all of my dads are hanging out. But yeah, that was cool. But
fun times.
Come to the next two legs, please. That would be cool. Oh, and a couple people came up to me and said they listened to the podcast.
Nice.
Shout out to them.
Every time someone came up to me and said that they liked the podcast, I literally after the interaction was over, I like cried. I like teared up. I was like, oh, why is everybody so nice to me?
That's awesome.
So somebody's out there listening. I saw them
Shout
with my
out
own
to you.
Yes. Number one fan group. Let's start it.
We haven't had E on an episode since the Sleep Token album came out.
That's right.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So it's kind of old news at this point, but we haven't had the resident Sleep Token stan weigh in yet.
I think that's like an understatement now at this point. So something kind of crazy happened. So, I mean, not really. It's crazy to me. So I have been a big Illenium fan for years now. Not that long, but enough time that like he's been my number one most played person for a while.
So he is one. I'm gonna sound like a boomer. He is one guy. It is a singular.
It's a it's like a DJ, but he writes his own music and like has people sing on stuff, and he includes a lot of people from the scene. Like Motionless in White was on his album. Avril Lavigne was on his album. Like he does a lot of stuff with alternative bands, rock bands, pop punk bands, whatever you want to call them. So he's been number one for forever. And he's about to get ousted by Sleep Token and Noah Khan because I have played them so much over the last 4 months. So the Sleep Token album, personally, for me, is like a melodic masterpiece. I am so obsessed with it.
Words.
I'm going to use them because it's accurate. I think they did a really amazing job of like pairing these different genres together and these different types of melodies and stuff and putting it together and really making it this incredible album. Do I really latch on to the whole worship thing? No. I don't get that. But I think it's really cool that no one knows who they are still.
I think the jokes about who they might be is the best part.
Yeah. I love when people are like, oh, it's Hosier, but then you're just like,
no, it's Nickelback.
Is it? Oh my god. But like, that would be amazing. Like, if you told me it was like the guy from Creed, I'd be like, you know what? Good for him.
I hope I never find out, honestly, because whoever it is never going to be as entertaining as it is as the people like that I make up in my own head.
Yeah.
Right.
Like if it's not someone entirely memey, if it's not Smash Mouth, I'm going to be pissed.
I mean, that would be amazing though. Like if it's someone we really like just don't like, if you told me it was like Christopher Drew or something, I would be like, I'm done. Like, I'm done, guys. I'm out.
I feel like a photo of him, like a recent photo of him was making the rounds semi-recently, and people were like,
Yes.
that is not the man that I remember.
Well, because he looks like he looks like oh my god, who's the guy? Who's the Unabomber? Ted Kaczynski? He kind of looks like
Isn't Ted Krasinski the
he just
guy
died.
From The Office?
No, it's
who's the guy from The Office?
Also Ted Krasinski. they have like it's like off by a letter.
Oh, hold on.
It's either Ted Kaczynski or Ted Krasinski. It's literally like
John. His name is.
Oh no.
His name is John Krasinski.
Oh, what? Well, yeah,
okay.
no.
Ignore
anyway. Amazing. No, that's amazing. Keep that in. Keep it in. I think, like, specifically other stuff too about it is that I think they have some really sad songs, and like you really have to listen to it to be like, oh wow, oh no, like this is sad.
Oh no, I'm feeling
and like, oh no, I'm feeling some feelings right now. Like their last song, Euclid, I was like, oh no, this is like a beautiful piano song, and then I'm like really listening to it, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that. That's very sad. But altogether, very good album. Very happy with it. I think the whole allure of Sleep Token too, and why they got so popular is because we don't know who they are, and it does put some like mystery to it and put some mystery to the music, and you're like, well, why is this person writing this way or like writing this music this way? And it's like, well,
Right.
we don't know because we don't know who they are, and we can't put judgment to it because we can't see them.
I think
Right.
it's a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a pretty good deal on both ends. We don't have to focus on their personalities or actions as people, and they have some semblance of anonymity. And then the people who know them or the people who are in the scene that like already know who they are can know, and
they can know. I saw Hayley recently. We did Reviving Raleigh together.
Nope, not Reviving Raleigh.
No.
It wasn't Reviving Raleigh. Let me do that one over. We did Whiteout.
Nope.
Wake Forest.
See, this is what the heat is doing to us.
Ain't
that guy from The Office?
That's the name of the episode, is Ain't That the Guy from The Office?
You gotta flash up a picture of them together, like next to each other. Like,
because they look nothing. They look nothing alike.
Nothing. Where we were at is Friday Night on Whites in Wake Forest.
Oh yeah. Right. Where Wake Forest actually is not right. Yes.
No, it is. It's actually the University of Wake Forest used to be there. It's not anymore.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, we were there at the beginning of June. That was our second time we had done it, and it was a blast. We had a lot of people.
It was very fun.
We even had this little kid that just kept coming back to spin our wheel, and he was decked out in revival stuff.
Oh my god! Over and over again, he would come out and just spin the wheel, and he would just be like, "I would like a shirt," and we were like, "You have 3 shirts," and he was just like, "I want another one."
But to be fair, he was wearing them.
Yeah.
In 90-degree heat, he had a beanie on. He was rocking
it was
revival stuff.
Yeah, it was hot out. Like, it was not just like a it's June. It was like, no, it is June. My brother in Christ who are wearing 4 revival shirts. Like,
the time it was me, Nick, and Flynn, kids really liked that wheel. And then every time they landed on something that wasn't a piece of candy, they would look at us like,
"Can I have the candy though?"
And then they would get their revival swag and a piece of candy. So
right.
Yeah,
and even the adults would come to spin our wheel the time we were there, and they were like, "You guys have the best prizes," and we're like, "We know."
And it was really cool because it was adults that were like, "What is this music? Like, what do you recommend?" And it was like, "Oh, thank you for asking me that."
Yeah. And we had E's mom there. She came out.
Oh my God. The Mama Emo was there. The Mama Emo was there. She was asking questions. She was,
drinking
doing her
beer.
thing, drinking her beer. Just like, wow, this is really interesting. This is what you do? Yes, it is.
On other news, also something that's happened in between the times that we've recorded and now, Bar Down Breakfast happened.
Yes, I was going to ask about that.
How was
Year
that?
2. It was hot as hell, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Speaking of heat.
Yes, it was good. There was a good amount of crowd there. I think they said they sold out the first night.
Yay!
And then the second night was good as well. I went the second night on Saturday with my husband and dad. He went with us as well.
So fun.
I know, it was a good time. We had a blast. We saw some bands. We saw At a Time. They played while we were there, so that was a good time.
Nice.
First time I've seen them live, so I was excited
Were they
to see them.
Were they good?
Yeah, they were good. The daggum venue didn't have any air conditioning.
I was about to ask, where was that in
hot.
Charlotte?
So I've never been to the Milestone, but apparently it's like an iconic place.
It is. That is an iconic place to go.
It looks like it's gonna cave in any minute.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Yep.
it do.
But but it was good. It was fun. Everybody was having a good time. Everybody was enjoying the music.
For people that don't have reference of Charlotte, the Milestone online says permanently closed for anyone who needs reference. So take that as you will.
Yeah. So, but it was good. It was, it did rain, so they had to bring all the bands inside eventually.
Okay.
But it also made it feel a little bit cooler outside. So in between sets, we went outside and hung out and talked.
Good.
They probably will be promoting it at this point, but I guess we can see when it gets there. But Gold Steps is going to be releasing a new single.
Yes, they are.
Called Undercover. It's coming out on August 18th. So you'll have to check it out when it comes out.
So at this point, when this comes out, you will still have time to pre-save that. So we'll include that in the description.
Yes.
I'm excited about the guests that we have coming up, but we can't.
Yes.
I don't know if we want to mention that before recording it. Is that kind of like jinxing ourselves?
We're teasing it because we all know that they're going to be on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna be optimistic. That's what I've learned in the past 4 months is you need to be optimistic.
Here's what we'll do. We won't say what order they'll be on because they're going to be on regardless, but the order might change.
Yes.
Pat from Alisana is going to be on, and I'm super excited because he's one of the people that I know listens. So that's really cool.
Fun.
We're going to have Jesse from the Senior Citizen podcast, Vampires Everywhere, and formerly of Misery.
Let's just say we'll have some bands on. We'll have some music industry people that aren't necessarily in bands, but are in the realm of marketing or apps and things. So we have a variety. People
who are going to give you good advice for what your band should be doing.
We got some new, we got some old, we got some now, we got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, for sure. But it's exciting. We have it all planned and ready for you.
Clear, yeah. Ready to serve it to you on the You, Me, and the Scene podcast, out every Monday from various locations.
Not every Monday.
Listen.
Not every Monday.
All right, you know what? I'm just good.
Every
Monday.
We asked some people. We asked the universe, the interverse, for some questions, and we're going to give them to you. We're going to answer them for you.
Candidly as possible.
Right. To the meat and potatoes of the episode. Frequently asked questions.
Yes.
Right.
So should we just get out the one that we know is going to be there, which is when is Alisana releasing new music?
Well, if I knew, I'd tell you.
We would be talking about it immediately.
I wouldn't be allowed to tell you, but we have all the information that we can give you, which is they are working on music. It will exist at some point. At some time.
Yep.
We can promise
in some
you that.
place. It may be. We may be old. We're waiting. They'll wait.
Yeah, it could. It could be a little bit from now. It could be next year. It could be in like 20 years. We don't really know.
It's a mystery.
It won't be tomorrow.
All right. So on from Alisana. How do you find the bands you sign?
We all have our own. We talked about this in the A&R episode a little bit, but we all have our own ways of finding bands. I personally use primarily, honestly, TikTok, and every time I see a band, I just either save the video or heart it, and then go back and look later. And I found some. How do I want to phrase that? I've found some of my current favorite bands from doing that. So even from like a work perspective.
That's cool. Yeah. Like you said, we all kind of have our own thing. You do TikTok, social media, Spotify. Sometimes bands reach out to us.
True.
And it's just the easy peasy
That's where
answer
it comes
for you
from.
guys. Yep. We just pluck them out of the universe and are like, here you go.
We actually create them ourselves because they're all industry plants.
We are
That's what that
actually
means.
in all of the bands. You just don't know about it because it's like Sleep Token. We're just
It's a Sleep Token situation.
We just do all AI covers of stuff and then we switch it into real music and we just go from there.
I don't know where to insert this, but allegedly, maybe by the time this podcast comes out, I can't remember what the date was, but will.i.am and Britney Spears are putting out a new song.
I saw that on the news this morning. Why did I see it on the news? I don't know, but I saw it.
He said AI covers, and it made me think of it because everyone seems to think that the Britney part of this song is just going to be an AI generated. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which that's
the
not
conspiracy stuff revolving around Britney Spears is insane.
It is
the
crazy.
only. Not that I think it's going to be AI, but the only reason I would maybe think it's AI is she's kind of. I don't know if she's actually said it, but with everything she's been through, I wouldn't put it past her if she like never wants to make music again, Or this might just be one from the vault.
Elton John one.
Did she?
She did Tiny Dancer recently. Yeah, her and Elton John did Tiny Dancer, a cover of it, and it went like #1 for a hot second.
I guess that's.
I saw an interview with will.i.am actually this morning. That's how I went. And he's not going to come out and say that it's AI. But
yeah, he wouldn't tell us if it was.
Right. But how he was speaking about it, because they asked him, one of the questions was, how was it different if it was working with her in the first song they did, which was Scream and Shout, versus now. And so that would make me believe that he actually, was in studio with her.
I would like to know how he answered that question, though, because I would think that this new song is just something that they had already had in the can like years ago when they did that first song together, and they're just putting it out now.
Right. So it's called Mind Your Business. And
yeah, that little tagline where she's like, "Mind your business, bitch." That's because it's like the yeah, good.
Yeah, they talked about the thought behind it is that it had to deal with privacy and like people
leave Britney alone.
Exactly. But privacy, or what people you're allowed to have your privacy, and even in this, people that have an eye on them, like celebrities, and even you can put it up to like really famous musicians and stuff, that they're allowed to have their semblance of privacy in it, and that's why the song is about, which I think speaks a lot to Britney's situation to
totally
some extent.
But I also think that's the perfect priming for him to turn around and be like, joke's on you, it was AI because y'all won't mind your business. But I think I'm just hyper skeptical of Britney putting out music right now because she's been through a lot. Okay, maybe we should leave her alone.
Didn't she delete her Instagram again? What is? I just hope she's okay. All I want is good stuff for Britney.
Everyone seems to think that the stuff that she posts on Instagram isn't actually her posting, but I think that's
Right.
a whole other thing.
There's like you said, there's a lot of conspiracies around her postings and stuff.
There was one recently where they were like, if you pause this video at a certain point, her face goes away, and it's a guy's face. So, like, they were insinuating that it was like an AI filter that was making this man look like her, and like that was the reality. And I was like, this is just getting way too deep for me. Like, this is just too much.
Yeah. Maybe, that's that.
Like, maybe just get off the internet. Yeah, just get off the internet.
Maybe just go touch some grass, maybe.
Go lay in the grass, unless you're allergic. Don't do that. But
I'm a big advocate of touching grass. I think that's great. I think it's good for you. Go on a hike. Just go on a hike. Go to our national parks. Go out and hike.
Air.
You know?
Fresh air. Yes,
fresh air is really good for people.
All right. Next question we're gonna bring up is let's see, any new bands that we are gonna be signing this year?
Yes.
But we can't tell you about them yet.
Yes, to the third degree.
I know of at least one that is gonna get the ball rolling. Yeah, they're get the ball rolling paperwork wise soon. Mm-hmm. But not like announcing probably for a while now. But
yeah,
they
may be announcing on this podcast. Yeah,
that would be really sick. That would be awesome. Are they gonna let us do that?
I mean, I have it listed on our spreadsheet as a possibility, so maybe.
Okay, well, put it out there.
And they're cool dudes.
I will them. Once they finish signing. They got to sign first, and then I'll be like, yes. So it's exciting stuff. Let's see. When will items get restocked in our shop?
Never.
It's dependent on the item. A lot of times we are doing short runs of things, so they're not necessarily things that we restock. That's why they're limited, and you should get them while you can. But we do try to have new items. Like, we'll have some new items for Black Friday. We'll definitely have new items if there's a new band that's going to be signed.
We also have some
they're gonna
collabs
have some cool
that
merch.
we've been talking about.
Right.
I don't know if those will come to fruition this year or next year. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the timeline is because that isn't my department right now. But I'm not the one working on it, so I don't know where it is. So
right.
But
fair.
Okay, let's see. Next question. When will Alessandra come to Brazil?
Did you see the life leave my eyes when you said that? It's gotten to the point
no one asked that. I just had to ask it.
No, but like literally as soon as like I started taking actual like professional photos and or if the band posts them and tags me, I get messages that are like come to Brazil, and I'm like, I can't tell because their profiles aren't in English, so I have to assume that they're being serious. Or is it to people in Brazil? Is it also a joke to people in Brazil at this point to say come to Brazil?
Is
that only a joke here?
Is it bad if I make a sign at all the shows that I go to now that just says "Come to Brazil" and like that's
what you should make the totem thing? Yeah,
so funny.
Stop it right now. Hold on. I gotta text my totem group chat about that.
I gotta text my totem guy.
I gotta text the totem guy.
Oh my gosh,
I'm so serious too.
I'm not gonna answer that question because I don't have an answer. I don't.
We don't run Alessandra.
We don't.
We often find out about Alessandra things once they're already confirmed. So if something's in the works, we won't know about it until it's...
Sometimes after they're already posted, and we're like, what is this?
That is true.
Let's see. What is reviving Raleigh?
It is.
Well, clearly I was wrong, so...
I was gonna say, don't ask E about it, but...
So Reviving Raleigh is kind of a series of shows that Hayley.
Yes.
It's a series.
Yes.
It's a series of shows that we've been doing for several years. Obviously, we took a break during the pandemic for obvious reasons. That is made to bring awareness to the local Raleigh scene. Now, granted, all of these bands that play are not local Raleigh bands, but it's just to bring people out, let them have a good show, and also to just be together in the community. For example, the past couple of times we have had the Wake Forest School of Rock open for these shows, and they will be opening for the next show, which will be August 8th.
Oh, am I not going to be home again?
No, you're
No,
home.
maybe I'll be home.
August 11th at the Poorhouse.
It's the day after I leave.
Yeah, it's August 11th at the Poorhouse. School of Rock for Wake Forest will be opening, and then they're gonna have Lunchbox Heroes, So Far So Sick, and Dull Morning are gonna be the bands that are playing that night. So definitely come out to that if you are around.
That's a cool band name.
Yeah.
Lunchbox Hero.
Let's see. Any other questions? We had a question about what our jobs are at the label.
Well, if they listen,
we've already talked about that.
We have spoken about that.
Mm-hmm.
We have spoken about that. I still don't really know. Even I had my mid-year meeting and I didn't know what to call my role. Our team is really good because a lot of us have been here for a long time, and when I say higher ups, it feels weird saying higher ups because it's Sean and Nick, and I've just known them forever. But our team is really good about if one of us wants to try something or get our feet wet in something, they're always like, totally, make a plan, go for it. If you let us know if you need anything, and they've which is why I have trouble defining what I actually do, because every time I'm like, hey, I want to try this, they're like, okay, cool, and then I'll do it, and usually it works out, and then I'm like, okay, what am I going to do next? And now I'm a podcast host, so
right.
I'll let us say, now we have a podcast.
It's funny because I remember one time, and this is random, but one time I was playing slow pitch co-ed softball with Sean and Nick, and I said something. It was like when I first had joined and had moved down to Raleigh and things like that. I called Sean my boss in front of him, and he's like, ew, never call me that again.
I call Sean my boss all the time. Should I not be calling him my boss?
Well, it's like when I ask, like when I try to explain it to people, I'm like, they're my bosses, but not really.
I call them my label dads.
Label dads.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Label dads. Because they are very daddish.
Oh, no, they definitely are.
All right. Well, that's all the questions that I've written down. Anything else that we need? Any other questions?
I did see on Instagram, this is what I was going to say. I didn't want to justify with a response, but someone asked about the discourse about the girl pit.
Just saw that. And it made me very upset.
Before we let's explain it. If you're not on this part of Twitter, basically, Calling All Captains posted a TikTok of one of their shows where the singer said something to the effect of like, okay, girls only mosh pit, so on and so forth. And people on Twitter got real mad about it.
Why?
I just want to
asked
say
on our Instagram what we think of it.
I just want to say, before we go into this more, I have the majority of that side of Twitter blocked. So I found this out from TikTok because I was like, what the heck is this thing? And then I was getting free hugs vibes from Warped Tour circa 2007, and it made me feel real icky.
So I understand that, but I think the way that people were like coming at them for this harmless thing, first of all, okay.
It is harmless. It is harmless. It's harmless. You know,
I think the way that people
there's some thought behind it. There is some thought behind it. I appreciate the thought. It was done in the wrong way.
Can I ask a question? Because to me, I'm not really hadn't seen it, and this is kind of the outside of the Instagram ask. So this is kind of
and we've like touched on it in our group chat a little bit, but
yes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to run through my mind here. What about it were people mad about?
That's a good question because I don't really understand.
Okay.
I think the thought, so the way that I took it was that like girls need a separate pit in order to feel safe, which is justified in a way because there is a lot of chaos in mosh pits. There always has been, but it was like a weird sense of like, well, they can't handle themselves in that, and a weird sexualization of it, which was like weird. I don't know. I might be interpreting this the very wrong way, but that's how I kind of took it. So I was like,
okay. See, I saw it as someone I am a fan of Calling All Captains. Like I followed them for a long time. Their drummer is the drummer of Nicholas Rage. So like we have a tie to them in that regard. I thought it was fine. Like as someone who has felt unsafe at shows, I appreciate that was, I don't think they meant anything by it maliciously. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it. In my brain, anyone who took such issues with that, I was like, so do you want to just, what's the alternative? You want to just wail on women? Is that your point?
Yeah. So like there's, that's like the weird part of it is like, I guess, was that the point? Like what made that happen in the first place? Like, was the singer just like, all girls in the pit, and that was like it? Or was it like there was their thought behind it being like, okay, well, we don't want girls to get hurt in the pit? Or like, was it like put all the girls in the pit? Like, there's ways that you can take it.
Which is to further the point that like, it's like a 15-second video. Like, how could you
we don't know.
My point is, anytime Twitter freaks out over something like that, it gives me brain rot, and I don't want to think about it anymore. But I didn't take offense to it. And then like 2 days later, I saw a guy walking around at a festival on TikTok with a banner that says "Girl Pit," which arguably, like, if I saw that at a show, I would get free hugs vibes. Why is that chill and no one's freaking out on that guy? But when Calling All Captains did it, that was a huge thing. Like,
it's like,
is it because one has a microphone?
It's a good question. I think.
Then again,
I don't know. This is why I have that whole side of Twitter blocked. Is because I just don't even want to be involved in that. I don't want to be. That's
at the end
like
of the
discourse.
Day, it's not like I know these guys' characters, so like I don't want to shoot myself in the foot or anything. But I don't think they meant anything bad by it.
No.
I think it's stupid that people chose that. Like, that's what they chose to be mad about that day. When there's plenty of shitty people doing like real harm to others in the scene. Want to go listen to our last episode? Like, we did a whole, there's bigger fish to fry. Relax. That's all.
I, again, as someone who has been like last December, there was air fryer discourse. And I started that.
Right, I remember.
Who knew? Who knew?
Should I cut that out?
No, because I don't care. Like, I'm like, that was the stupidest thing to go into like hysteria over. So like, I just like, you gotta pick. You know what? No, don't even pick no, I don't want to say that either. Pick your battles. Pick your battles, pick them effectively. Don't go into something without knowing all the details, and maybe buy yourself an air fryer. I don't know.
I also think people just love to point at anything and go cringe, 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 cringe. Which, whatever.
Oh, I think anyone with a microphone is going to get that. I think influencers see that a lot. I think bands see that a lot. I think people... not going to bring politics into it, but like there is like a point where it's like, if you have a voice in something, someone's going to get mad at you over something. And if it's about a girl pit, then that's what someone's choosing to be angry over sense. Today. So
I also want to note, sorry. I want to note that, like, I mean, I only I don't even know if the comment's still there. They might have deleted it. Courtney sent it to the group chat. But it was to the point where I think the singer was posting that he was getting, like, threatened. It was, like, that kind of, like, people were so shitty about it. Which is ridiculous. If you think it's cringe, like, then...
I'm just gonna say, I have said all of this, and now thinking about it in hindsight, I should reserve judgment, as I said. I don't know all the details. I wasn't there.
Yeah,
I wasn't able to see it. I don't know what happened. I don't know what started it. I don't know what ended it. Did I have an opinion on it? Yes. But, like, is that the correct opinion? Probably not. I don't know all the details, so...
I just think there are more important things to care about. That's all.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'll probably cut half of that out.
Yeah, no, free hugs is a weird time in my life.
Yeah, free hugs is a little ridiculous.
Kind of forgot about all that.
You forgot or you blocked it?
That feels like a really... Probably both. Because that feels like a very, like... When I think of free hugs, I immediately think of Never Shout Never, and I don't really know why that is, but I feel like that's probably correlated.
I get that. I feel that. I do.
Do you?
I understand.
It was a Tumblr era thing.
I feel like there's got to be some promo pictures of that dude with a paper sign that says something weird on it.
Oh, I can already tell you there is.
I don't know if you Google that. Weird guy with weird sign. You might.
Well, guys, that was really good.
Yeah, we just wanted to have a little bit of a catch up since we haven't sat down and talked in a while, and we went even more off the rails without Courtney. So now that we've done an episode, each of us have missed at least one, and I feel like the only one that was like no, at least from the recording standpoint, no hiccups is the one where me and E weren't there. So
well, look, listen, we have a lot to say, and it comes up really randomly, and we have random thoughts that spew from random things. It's fine.
Yes.
That said, do we have songs of the week?
Oh, I'm last, as always.
Sure.
I'll go first, since I'm always the one talking. I'm gonna do a shout out to my new friends in Limbs, who we were just on tour with and are about to be on tour with again. Hey, they have a song called Coma Year that's been stuck in my head. Coma Year. So yeah, they're very cool. It was great to watch them every night, and they're very nice dudes. Not that I didn't think they were going to be nice dudes, but your touring experience is so much more fun when you're friends with the people that you're touring with. Yeah. And they seem super cool. Nice. So go check them out.
I guess for my song of the week, I'm going to go with All Gas by Bill Murray featuring Mitchell Tenpenny. And Andrew brought this song to my attention, and I woke up this morning with it stuck in my head for some reason. So that's what the song I'm going with.
Oh, love that. And mine, if I am nothing but a Sleep Token fan, I am also the biggest Noah Kahn fan that there is. And I know it's really big on TikTok, and I know some people have covered it that I will not be mentioning. But Dial Drunk by Noah Kahn, super good. And Post Malone just did a feature on it, which is really exciting. So
awesome.
That's mine.
If we get a posty folk record, we are one step closer to getting a posty hardcore record. I don't know why, but in my head that makes sense.
We're in a Folk Malone era, which is fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
Folk Malone. I love that for him. I would love a country record from him as well. Thank you so much.
Also, I'm sorry that my lighting changed so many times while we were recording this. The sun was setting, and then it was dark, and now I have just... But if you're listening, you have no idea, so never mind.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Next time, we will probably have a guest, and Courtney will be back, and we'll see you in episode 14.
Yay!
Yay! Bye, y'all!
Bye!
Thanks for tuning in to the You, Me, and the Scene podcast.
New episodes are released every other Monday.